All right, so today you guys are going to be planning for the universals of culture speech that you will do the next lesson. So step one says read the attached rubric to understand how your universals of culture speech will be graded. So you'll open that up, and I have it right here. So first off, we're going to be grading your nonverbal, so your eye contact, posture, facial expressions, and movement. So make sure you're on camera. Basically, what we're looking for to get an A is that you have eye contact, posture, facial expressions, and movements are appropriate and engage the audience. Stepping down, they're mostly appropriate. About half the time they're appropriate. A D would be eye contact may be rare, movements may be distracting, and or facial expressions may not match what you're saying. And then 50% would be attempted but ineffective, little to no eye contact. You might just be reading off a sheet, distracted by others, like you wave to someone or you look over at someone like that. You're lying in bed, etc. Just to explain grading, because perhaps your teachers in 10th grade didn't do this, I do decimals, and a lot of people don't like it, but I'm trying to help you out. So if you do whole numbers, the grades drop too fast. So this is a true 100%, obviously, a true B, a true C, a true D. Second category is verbal, so your volume, your rate, your variety. If all these are appropriate and engage the audience, it's 100%. If it happens most of the time, more than half of the time. And a D would be that one or more are disengaging, like you're too loud or quiet, you're too fast or slow, or you're monotone. ACT Ready English, we're going to focus on one thing. We're going to focus on subject-verb agreement. So as you guys are talking, I'm just going to listen for any errors that maybe you just naturally speak that way. Okay, so it's nothing to really stress out about, but I want to know if you struggle with saying things like they was instead of they were. Okay, or you is instead of you are, because when you get to the ACT, you're going to have to understand the correct way to make subjects and verbs agree. So this is just for me to listen to notice if it's a problem for you. Introductions, you're going to start your speech by introducing yourself, your first and last name. You're going to give a short fact and a longer fact, which when you see the planning document, that'll make a lot more sense. You'll know exactly what to say. If you do all three of these, it's complete, it's engaging, 100%. If it's complete, a B. If you address two of those, but not all three, a C. One of those, a D. And then you'll move into talking about your first universal. You can use some or all of the questions provided. If you transition into the universal, like, to begin with, or the first thing that, you know what I mean, like you transition into it, and it's thoughtful and it's developed, it's 100%. If you clearly indicate the universal that you're talking about and you explain how it's seen in your life, that's B. If maybe you don't say the universal, like you don't say like values, ethics, and symbols, but I can infer it, like I get that's what you're talking about. That would be a C. Or if you just need more elaboration. A D would be that either I can't really tell which universal you're talking about, or you just give like one fact, or also like something that sometimes people do is they like read the question and then answer it. Try to not read the question first. And then the second universal will be graded the same, and so will the third. And then to conclude, you're going to end with an important quote or song lyric that reflects who you are or a belief that you have. If you transition into a clear closing, you provide context, like you tell me like why you're choosing that, and you give credit to whoever said the quote or to whoever the song is by, then that would be an A. If you bring the speech to a clear close and you include the important quote or song lyric, that would be a B. If you attempt to bring it to a close by including a quote or song lyric, but it feels really choppy, that's a C. If you bring the speech to a close, but you don't follow the instructions, you just say, okay, that was my speech, then that would be a D. And then this would be something like, this would be like, you just stop after this universal and you don't do anything, then I would give it here. So that's the rubric. That's how you'll be graded. And so step 2 says, open Miss Haviland's Universal of Culture speech plan to see an exemplar for how your plan should look. You should not write complete sentences unless it is for your quote or song lyric. So this is what my plan looks like. You'll notice just has words basically. So my name, short fact about myself, I'm going to say I teach 11th grade, where I went to school, then the 3 universals I'm going to talk about, a couple facts I'm going to say for each one, not written out, we don't want you to write your speech out, and then a little, like, how am I going to elaborate? I'm going to give a little bit of an anecdote or a little story. I mean, a tiny, it doesn't have to be long, that goes along with it. Just a little bit more detail than simply just like listing things I like. And then the conclusion, you're going to give the context of the quote, credit the quote, and then my quote was really long, so that's why I had to. And you probably have to write your whole quote out, but mine was just really long. So that's an idea of what yours should look like. Step 3, complete the plan for your own speech using the Universals of Culture Speech Plan PDF. You'll choose 3 universals to focus on. Use the questions provided on pages 2 and 3 of this document to give you ideas on what you could talk about for each one. So yours will look exactly the same. And then on pages 2 and 3, you'll see the questions. So whichever 3 universals you decide to talk about, use the correlating questions to help you know what you could say. And then you're going to, step 4, you're going to submit your plan, this planning document right here that you filled out, to this Dropbox, 0905, Planning for the Universals of Culture Speech. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I look forward to getting these. Thanks.